Next up, we got Chronically Online Girl explains Fleetwood Mac drama and lore. Let's go. Y'all been saying to watch this one, or not y'all, but people in the comment section have been saying to watch this one, because when I listened to the Fleetwood Mac thing, I'm gonna be real, I didn't know none of what the fuck was going on. I was trying to put things together as I was listening, but bruh, I was definitely missing out. But let's go ahead and get into it.
Although they are here. And I'm not talking about Trump's cabinet either. It's something with much more whimsy.
Wait. Hold on. We started off fast.
Cults, coke, and cheating. No, I'm not talking about Daisy Jones and the Six, okay? Although they are here. And I'm not talking about Trump's cabinet either.
Yeah.
It's something with much more whimsy. A lot better sounding, okay? And it's Fleetwood Mac. Fleetwood Mac heads rise.
Nicole Raffi,
You didn't
big
know,
shout out to
now
her.
you know. Stevie Nicks is actually going on tour soon, so I am so excited to go and see her for my very first time. Which is why I wanted to give the sponsor of today's video, SeatGeek, a huge shout out. With over 28 million downloads.
Shout out to SeatGeek.
20s. Today, we're chronically on
automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, SeatGeek.
Normally for Chronically Online Girl videos, I like to stay within the 2010s and 2020s. Today, we're going back in history to talk about the drama and lore of the band Fleetwood Mac. If American public school systems aren't going to teach you about Fleetwood Mac, then I will. And I feel like during the epidemic of situationships, it's very important that I talk about the most infamous situationship that there ever was. Hold on. Let me get my shawl. Did you know that Stevie Nicks has 1,000 shawls stored in a temperature-controlled room?
Wait,
Honestly,
bruh,
good for
I still
her.
think
Let's
it's
jump
so
right
funny
into
that I watched or listened to most of that album without even knowing that Stevie Nicks was even in the band. I still think that's one of the goofiest things I've done on this channel, period. Because what the fuck?
it. If you're thinking to yourself, Nicole, I have no idea who Fleetwood Mac is. Yes, you do. Open Spotify, look up Fleetwood Mac or Stevie Nicks. Play one of the most popular songs. You probably know it. And if you don't, fuck. I don't know what to tell you. Unfortunately, you're a lost cause. Fleetwood Mac's legacy was cemented in 1977 with the release of their most popular album, Rumours. The album with the songs
Rumours.
Dreams, The Chain. You motherfuckers might be owning a t-shirt right now from Target with
Watching your
Rumours
reaction was
on
a
it,
bit
and you have
crazy.
no idea who Fleetwood Mac is. Anyway, it sold over 40 million copies,
Making it one of the highest grossing albums literally ever.
Damn.
However, the band did form in 1967, but their early years were extremely chaotic because we had band members in and out, messy relationships, and serious struggles with addiction. And the band that most people associate with the name Fleetwood Mac is when they think of Christy McVie, John McVie, Mick Fleetwood, Lindsey Buckingham, and Stevie Nicks being the main members. Their personal drama and lore fucking crazy, insane. Did it make some of the best music ever? Yes, and we are so grateful for it. Remember that guy in 2020 who was skateboarding and drinking the cranberry juice? That was to a Fleetwood Mac song. And you might be hearing even more about...
Oh shit, wait a second. I seen somebody saying that this video is what like started TikTok. I don't know if that's actually true. I feel like it actually started with something else, but apparently this is one of the first videos to go viral on TikTok or something like that, which is actually crazy. Also, I did not know that there was someone in the band that actually had the name Fleetwood. Because the thing is, like, why did he get to have his name as the band name? Like, who was there a Mac? Or am I missing something? Who the fuck was Mac if there was a Fleetwood? Am I tripping? Mr. Fleetwood? That's crazy. Why is
that
it
was
only
to a
him?
Fleetwood Mac song. And you might be hearing even more about them right now because
There's a Mac?
Stevie
Mr.
Nicks
Mac?
and Lindsey Buckingham are actually... Let's get that straight. Stevie Nicks is a woman. Lindsey Buckingham is a man. Let's get that through our thick skulls. They're surprising literally the world because they're reissuing their joint album, Buckingham Nicks. After people for years were like, will they, won't they? Do they hate each other? Is Stevie Nicks gonna kill Lindsey Buckingham, yes or no? And like not with her bare hands or anything, but like with a Nazi spell. She doesn't need a Nazi spell. She can do it herself, honestly. And on top of that, we have a book and a TV show that is heavily based off of Fleetwood Mac, Daisy Jones and the Six, which is basically considered to be like Fleetwood Mac fan fiction. Amazing book, by the way. And so
What? They
even
got
though
fan
it's been
fiction?
50 years later, their legacy still lives on. Let's get started. 1967, Fleetwood Mac is born. Fleetwood Mac is actually not a singular person. However, it did start out with the drummer Mick Fleetwood, bassist John McVie, and guitarist and vocalist Jeremy Spencer and Peter Green. A year later, Danny Kerwin joins as a third guitarist. The band releases their self-titled debut album. Fun fact,
Damn.
Peter Green actually came up with the name Fleetwood Mac. He said that it reminded him of an express train. And for a while, it was called Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac. Even though, despite him really adamantly not wanting that to be the name, the label released it for their debut album anyway. But the album still hit number 4 in the UK without having a single hit. May 1970.
Whoa, hold on. So they was big from the jump. I think the interesting thing about this band is it's one of the few ones where because thing is I put like maybe one or two of their other albums on polls on Patreon, but those ones are not winning. So I just assumed it was one of those situations where it's just like one album that people really mess with this band, but it seems like they was successful from the very beginning, which is actually crazy.
Lost their front man. So Peter Green does leave after a bad LSD trip. It is the 60s and 70s. He ends up having an LSD trip in Munich that ends up changing him forever. The trip was at a hippie commune, and he refused to leave for a few days, basically just playing music nonstop with the locals. Literally, Mick Fleetwood and John McVie went to go find him, and Peter was like, no, I'm actually so good here. I'm gonna stay. Literally, Mick Fleetwood and John McVie had to go find him, but they both said that he was never ever the same after that trip. After him leaving the band, he actually struggled with
that's why LSD is so
spent
scary
time
to me.
in psychiatric hospitals and even underwent electroshock therapy, and it's later been reported that he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. A lot of people see Peter Green as very beloved. Some people even say that it's the best music that Fleetwood Mac had was when he was a part of the band. So his leaving the band, obviously mental health struggles, extremely sad. Now, August 1970.
Guys, y'all don't understand. LSD, scariest thing on the planet to me. Literally the most terrifying shit ever. I remember when I first put out the very first Pink Floyd album, people was like, bruh, just take some LSD and vibe. No, I will never take that shit. You see what happened to bro? He literally, his entire life changed off of one trip. I will never do that shit. Absolutely not.
Christy McVie joins, not to be confused as sisters with John McVie. They are instead lovers, okay? They're married. Her name before getting married was Christine Perfect. Love it. She'd already been in the blues band Chicken Shack and ended up marrying John McVie in 1968. Mind you, British, okay? I feel like I just have to point that out because Fleetwood Mac is seen as like an American band. So she ended up being the keyboardist, a key songwriter, and even drew the cover art for Kiln House. And because she was a keyboardist, she completely changed Fleetwood Mac's sound. And for Daisy Jones and the Six fans, Christine McVie actually inspired the character Karen Serco, played by Suki Waterhouse within the series. That's why she's British. So February 1971, keep up. Right before a sold-out show at Whiskey A Go-Go, Jeremy Spencer says that he's gonna go grab a magazine. Cool. He never comes back. Turns out that within that time of him leaving, he joined a Christian cult called The Family, formerly known as Children of God. And so the band had to
God, wait, I kind of want to look them up. Children of God cult? Children of God cult? The fuck is this? Children of God was a religious group started in California by David Berg. It became or began during the hippie movement, but it turned into an authoritarian doomsday cult. Whoa. Group became infamous for extreme control, severe child abuse, using sex to recruit members. Yo, what the fuck? The group later changed its name to the Family International. Wait, this is actually wild. So they left the band and then got caught up in this whole cult thing. Yo, this is actually crazy. Okay, wow. Can't remember who made it. Oh wait, let me go back. Yo, this is actually wild stuff so far.
Scramble and brought in Bob Welch instead, which steered Fleetwood Mac into a more California rock.
You saw a video on that cult
1972, before these two enter Fleetwood Mac, they begin dating Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham. They met in high school in San Francisco, where Lindsey was a junior and Stevie was a senior, and they later played in a band called Fritz throughout college. And it wasn't until after the band Fritz broke up that these two decided to start dating. And Stevie later says, "I'm not sure we would have ever become a couple if it wasn't for leaving the band." Back to Fleetwood Mac, August 1972. Danny Kerwin's alcoholism begins to get out of control. Backstage, he smashes his guitar, refuses to go on stage, fired on the spot. That is when he is replaced by Bob Weston. September 1973, outside of Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham release an album together called Buckingham and Nicks. I think it should have been Nicks Buckingham. Anyway, now Stevie Nicks does claim that she did not want to do the cover for Buckingham Nicks, but it was Lindsey Buckingham who pressured her into doing a nude photo shoot because he was like, this is fucking art. Come on, stop being a child. And the album flops commercially. However, it does get the attention of Mick Fleetwood. Now, Buckingham agrees to join Fleetwood Mac as long as Stevie is allowed with him. At this time, Stevie was working and waitressing. Meanwhile, Lindsey was staying at home and working on music. Although Stevie does...
You said, wait, the girl's called Stevie and the man Lindsey? Yeah, that was confusing me a ton at first. I was just letting that shit slide. But yeah, Lindsey is the guy and Stevie is the girl, which is crazy. Hey, I can respect that, but yeah, definitely threw me off at first.
Interesting. Meanwhile, Lindsay
Needs to react to
was
Buckingham
staying
Nicks?
at home and working on music. Although Stevie does
I'll look
say
it up,
that
actually.
she does think he was doing more of just smoking weed. October 1973. Mick Fleetwood's wife, Jenny Boyd, Pattie Boyd's sister, aka George Harrison's muse, who then left him for
why
Eric
she look like
Clapton,
Taylor
because
Swift?
Eric
Am I
Clapton
tripping?
was like, I'm gonna freak the actual fuck out and K-word myself if you do not leave George Harrison for me. He ended up freaking the fuck out regardless. So Jenny ends up having an affair with Weston literally mid-tour. Mick Fleetwood finds out, fires Weston, cancels the rest of the tour, and the band temporarily splits. Fleetwood, the McVies, and Welch end up suing their former manager Clifford Davis over the Fleetwood Mac name. Since they were on a hiatus and they canceled the rest of the tour, Clifford Davis thought that he could just use the Fleetwood Mac name and just have random ass artists up on stage and thought that nobody would notice. People noticed. Fleetwood says in Rolling Stone, managers forget who makes the money. It's the people who bash the drums and twang the guitars.
Wait a second. So their manager tried, I'm assuming from what they just said, like what it sounds like is their manager tried just using the band's name, but then getting random ass musicians to just try and play the songs for them. Is that actually what they was doing? There's no way they thought that shit would work.
That is in Rolling Stone. Managers forget who makes the money. It's the people who bash the drums and twang the guitars.
That's actually
and the battle
so
drags
crazy.
on for years before being settled in court in 1978. So then in September 1974, the band actually moves to the US, signs with Warner Brothers, and self-manages under the name CD Records, which was rare for a big rock band at the time to be managing themselves, which they then release Heroes Are Hard to Find. Here we go.
Oh.
Here's where it starts to get really juicy. Buckingham and Nicks officially join the band. However, it does not start off smooth, okay? Because literally Christine McVie and John McVie are literally divorcing. Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham are in the midst of a breakup. And then also in the midst of all this, Mick Fleetwood is having an affair with Stevie Nicks. During the time of Lindsey Buckingham not working, making music from home while Stevie is waitressing, she ends up writing the song Landslide when she's about 25 years old, which is the most depressing song in the entire world. Like, do not play that song around me. Like, I will end up in the news. Because she was questioning their future together and wondering if they would ever make it. So New Year's Eve, 1974.
All right, so at the very beginning of all this shit, they are going through a breakup right now, and then two members of the band are going through a divorce. I can already see how this shit is gonna get messy, bro. Like, this is gonna be a complete mess. Needless to say, band practice was interesting. Oh yeah, for sure. What the fuck, man?
Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham officially join Fleetwood Mac, and guitarist Bob Welch ends up leaving to go solo. So at this point, Stevie is 26 years old and Lindsey is 25. I am currently 25, about to be 26. Clearly, I'm not doing enough with my life. You're telling me that Stevie Nicks was 25 when she wrote Landslide, and all I've done is dress up as Dr. Phil in fishnets. Shit sucks. And at first, Mick Fleetwood admits that he was not even considering adding Stevie into the mix of Fleetwood Mac. However, he did realize that they are a package deal because all they were looking for was just a guitar player. And ironically, Stevie says that her and Lindsey were actually very close to breaking up, but convinced him to hold it together. She says, Lindsey, you and I have to sew this relationship back up. We have too much to lose here. So they move into an apartment on Hollywood Boulevard, focus on new music, and are part of this new band now. So 1975, they release their album, The White Album. It ends up selling over 500,000 copies in the first year. It features two major Stevie written hits, Landslide and Rhiannon. So like the most depressing song that you've ever heard in your entire life and makes you want to end up on the news. And Rhiannon, like the most fun song to ever exist. But Stevie and Lindsey are fucking done. Stevie admits that she held on to the relationship a lot longer because she wanted to make it work for the band. So it's like, oh fuck, we just joined this band. And oh shit, we have a really good thing going on.
Wait,
so now
that would actually be so crazy. I couldn't even imagine being in that situation. Like, you wanted to be an artist your entire life, and you are also in a relationship with this person. You know that shit is not working out. But the fact that you joined up with this band as a couple, what am I trying to say? The fact that you and your boyfriend or your girlfriend are now part of this band, and your chemistry is what is getting you towards or pushing you towards that dream of being an artist. Like, how do you actually navigate that? Especially at the age of what, like 25? Is that what they said? That's actually wild to think about. Because the thing is, if that was my dream, I feel like I would still go for it, even though I already knew that shit would be crazy or get messy as hell. Just think of the band, Lindsey. Yeah, that's actually wild. That's actually wild. Thing is, though, like, could they not have just broken up and still been in the band? I guess it would be messy as fuck. But damn, there's really no good way to go about this, honestly.
And consists of 5 members, 2 of which are divorcing, 2 of which are broken up, and then there's this guy. By this guy I mean Mick Fleetwood. In all actuality, he is actually dealing with serious drug issues, which he openly admits to. So 1976, they start recording their album Rumours, their most successful album. Oh, but of course, everybody's like literally spiraling. So Lindsey Buckingham ends up writing the song Go Your Own Way, basically a bitter take on the breakup with Stevie. And Stevie responds with her song Dreams, a softer, more hopeful counterpoint. Keep in mind that when they are writing these songs, the other one is usually either singing backup or playing guitar on the other person's song, because it's a Fleetwood Mac song. So like the other person has to contribute to a song that's literally about themselves. Meanwhile, Christine writes You Make Loving Fun because she fell in love with the band's lighting director in the midst of her divorce. Now, Stevie later on does point out how Dreams and Go Your Own Way are basically a conversation and rebuttal in song form, with Stevie writing lyrics like when the rain washes you clean, you'll know, and Lindsey writing lyrics like packing up, shacking up's all you want to do. Stevie did not like that line at all. Stevie has multiple times.
Wait. Why didn't she like it? Hold on. Tell me why everything's turned around. Packing up, shacking up's all you want to do. All right. So wait, they're saying that Lindsey said this about Stevie then? If I could, baby, I'd give you my world. Open up. Everything's waiting for you.
All you want to do. Stevie.
What did she say? I very much resented telling the world that packing up, shacking up with different men was all I wanted to do. Oh shit. So he was basically just calling her a slut, I guess. That's crazy. That's crazy. Especially like doing that shit on the radio, on a mega hit. Insane work. That's actually wild work. And then you had to play backup to that as well. Wait a second. This is actually wild. You know, it wasn't true. It was just an angry thing that he said every time those words came out on stage. I wanted to go over and kill him. And then again, like we was talking about a second ago, being on tour with these people and having to play these songs out on stage every single night, listening to them. Nah, this shit would actually be, this would send me into psychosis for real. Good Lord, bro.
Stevie did not like that line at all. Stevie has multiple times been like, I was not shacking up with anybody, so I don't know why the fuck you would write that.
And, you know, shacking up is all you want to do, which was not true.
My dreams was my kind of airy-fairy spirituality, saying when the rain washes you clean, you'll know. In other words, we're all going to come out of this. And Lindsey, you and I will come out of this, and we'll be friends, and it'll be okay. And Lindsey's dreams, which was Go Your Own Way, was angry and nasty, and in my opinion, extremely disrespectful.
Damn.
To say shacking up. And
oh wait. This was the
Stevie.
Hold on.
Which I am.
Didn't that song win the Song Wars the very last one that we did? That was what our slaps picked, right? Am I tripping? I feel like that's the exact song that they picked. Wait a second. This shit came full circle. What the hell?
Ladylike, prudish Stevie, which I am, was very offended by him saying shacking up is all you want to do, because I was not in any kind of a shacking up mood. I was not shacking up with anybody.
Damn.
Her and Christine then later on do Sabotage, the song in a live performance. I love the song You Make Loving Fun. It's arguably maybe my favorite Fleetwood Mac song. I love any song where Christine is the main vocalist on. I love her voice so much. So even though the song You Make Loving Fun is about Curry Grant, the lighting director, and not about her current husband, John McPhee, she tells John that it's actually about their dog. Okay, Christine. All while making John play bass on it. It's literally a song about a different man, and she's like, fuck, you gotta play bass. Meanwhile, though, John is deep into his alcoholism, and Mick Fleetwood is bringing in parades of groupies during their recording sessions. So February 1977 is when Rumours actually drops, and their drug use becomes very apparent because they actually start fighting very frequently backstage while like mocking each other on stage. Stevie admits that her cocaine use was at a dangerous level. Remember how Mick Fleetwood's wife cheated on him with another band member that then got kicked out? Mick Fleetwood ends up remarrying Jenny Boyd. And on the same exact tour where Lindsey and Stevie are literally getting into it fighting, they're not together, but actively fighting with one another during their tour, Stevie and Mick Fleetwood recently married, or like, let's start an affair. And it all started in March 1977 during the Rolling Stone cover shot by
Wait, there's actually so much happening. It's damn near like information overload. I can't even keep up. This is the most crazy, messy, fucked up situation I've seen in a minute. they're all just like, wait, bro, they're all literally like, it's all, bro. It's so, they're all over each other. Hold on. Jenny Boyd talks about forgiving Stevie Nicks after Mick Fleetwood's affair, marrying Star twice. Wait, so they got married to each other twice? What the hell? Yo, this is insane.
And it all started in March 1977 during the Rolling Stone cover shot by Annie Leibovitz. Everyone's in bed together. It's just a big ass bed shot. And they're like, oh my God, it'll be Lindsay and Stevie cuddling together. It'll be John and Christine cuddling together. And then
Mick can be there,
Ew.
I guess.
meanwhile, they're like, fuck no. We are all not getting along actively. So Stevie instead is like cuddling Mick Fleetwood in the photo.
Wow.
John McVie is sitting off by himself reading a Playboy. And Lindsay and Christine are cuddling on the bed for the photo.
Damn.
So basically 3 hours of Stevie and Mick Fleetwood cuddling together on the bed. They were like, oh my God, we knew each other in a past life. Stevie calls it the seed that led to their affair. Could it be the drugs talking? Perhaps. Most likely, yes. And to just add to the chaos, Stevie and Lindsay end up making out on the bed anyway, which Annie Leibovitz then had to like kick them out because she only had the studio reserved for a certain amount of time. Hey, Stevie, you know what? Yeah, sure, whatever. So during tour break,
What?
Stevie and Mick actually sneak
Wait,
off.
they was making out mid photo shoot? Is that what I'm hearing? What the fuck?
Like full affair style, mini getaways to Maui, New Zealand, and all throughout Hollywood Hills. Their relationship is brief, but it is intense. And Jenny Boyd says that she remembers when Mick Fleetwood told her about the affair because he was like, it's been happening since Australia, and like, shit, I don't know who to be with, like, because I love Stevie and I love you. Jenny Boyd does joke with him later and says, oh well, she wrote some good songs because of it all. So this is where Stevie Nicks
Damn.
channels her emotions into songs like Sarah, Storms, and Beauty and the Beast, because she said that she saw her and Mick within Beauty and the Beast. Crazy thing to say, Stevie, but okay, girl. 1978, midway through their recording of the album Tusk, great album, by the way, Stevie discovers that Fleetwood has actually moved on. He's moved on. Yeah, like, fuck Boyd, fuck Stevie Nicks. We're gonna go to Stevie's close friend, Sarah Ricord. She's like, it's fine that I lost Mick Fleetwood, okay? It's not that big of a deal because, like, I already lost him, but it's a really big fucking deal to lose my best friend, Sarah. Because Sarah is now banished from the studio. Like, she's not even allowed to be there. No one's talking to each other. Nobody fucks with each other. And Mick Fleetwood and Sarah actually end up marrying in 1988 and divorce in 1995. 1980, this is where
What the
Lindsay
hell,
Buckingham
guys?
and Stevie Nicks, this is like their most violent altercation that is recorded. Although long broken up, allegedly Buckingham tries to trip Stevie while she's on stage and then even threw his guitar at her. The band stops the show. A fight-
Yo. They said this was recorded? Essentially, no one is innocent? No, not at all. Yo, this man tried to take her out on stage. Thing is, that shit is not soft. If she fell the wrong way, she could have really got hurt. And then on top of that, throwing the guitar, bro, he wanted to take her out for real. That's actually fucked up.
erupts backstage. Christine McVie even says that she slapped Lindsay Buckingham. She said that was the first time that she's ever slapped someone and that she might have even thrown a glass of wine at him. And McVie calls
Might
his
have
actions
thrown a
really
glass of
over the
wine.
top and really unprofessional in front of an entire paying crowd. It just doesn't seem like this relationship between the band is healthy for anybody involved. Music is extremely difficult to gain success in. And so how do you step away from something that is so unhealthy for you, but you are reaping so many benefits from? July 1981, Stevie Nicks actually launches her own solo career, which is, I think, an extremely smart decision. She released her debut solo album, Belladonna, while still a member of Fleetwood Mac.
I like that
And the
album
went
cover.
#1 on the Billboard 200, having collaborations with Tom Petty and Don Henley.
Which, fun little fact, Stevie Nicks ends up actually having a relationship with Don Henley.
And even openly talks
Oh my
about her
God.
decision to end a pregnancy that she had with Don Henley. He was playing in the band The Eagles. Stevie was very young and very successful in Fleetwood Mac, has a booming touring career, and openly talks about how a child just would not fit into her lifestyle at that point and how
Wait, they made music together until 2003? That is actually so insane. Thing is, like, it's weird because, like, as much as I want to say, damn, that's crazy that y'all stayed there, I kind of, like, part of me kind of gets it. Because thing is, bro, like, if I was in a band that was making this much money in selling this many tickets, this many albums, I might stick that shit out. I know that's toxic as hell and it would like completely destroy me, but at the same time, bro, like I don't know. It's easy to say just like, oh, just go start a solo career, but thing is, y'all, most solo careers don't actually work out. They really don't. Especially when it comes to like these bands that blow up super fast. If you was to like try and start a solo career, I feel like 9 times out of 10, the shit don't work out. Isn't she the only person in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice? Wait, for real? So you're saying like from her solo career and then from the Fleetwood Mac stuff as well? That's crazy.
Touring career and openly
Shout
talks
out to
about
her.
how a child just would not fit into
Luckily,
her
she was
lifestyle
able to
at
make that
point,
work
and how
out.
she loved having the decision to be able to have an abortion. She took all the precautions necessary. She had an IUD, but I still think it's very cool that especially someone at Stevie Nicks' age now, during such a rise of conservatism and control on women's bodies, that she is so open in talking about something that is so controversial. Like, people are still giving her shit about a decision that she made for herself and her well-being 50 years ago. Because sure, let's force somebody to have a child. Absolutely. You might know her hit single Edge of 17. It was partly inspired by John Lennon's murder.
And partly actually by Tom Petty.
Because when talking to Tom Petty's wife, she said that she met him at the age of 17, but she heard the edge of 17. And the day that Belladonna actually reached #1 on the Billboard 200, Stevie Nicks was actually told that her best friend, Robin Anderson, had leukemia. At the time, Anderson was pregnant and only given 3 months to live, and she gave birth to a son, making Stevie the godmother. And
Guys, we're moving so fast. So now Stevie's friend has leukemia and also gave birth to a son. Am I getting this all right? This shit is moving so fast, y'all. I genuinely cannot keep up. At some points, I just really just gotta let this shit rock, because what the fuck is happening?
3 months to live, and she gave birth to a son, making Stevie the godmother. And Stevie says that she never got to enjoy Belladonna because her friend was actively dying. Now, something that Stevie talks about with regret, it seems like, is that after following Robin's death in 1982, she actually ends up marrying Robin's widower, Kim Anderson, believing that Robin would want her to take care of her baby. Stevie says, "We were all in..."
What? Wait, what? Hold on. Did she just say that she married her dead friend's husband? Saying that that's what she would have wanted? Oh, fuck. Wait. Wait a second. Wait, that's actually so fucked up. Oh, shit. Wait a second, y'all. That shit don't happen on accident, though. That's the thing, bro. I feel like she was plotting on that. I don't know. I don't know. That one might be a little OD for me. What the hell? Your friend dies and you start going after her husband? That's crazy stuff.
Believing that Robin would want her to take care of her baby. Stevie says, "We were all in such insane grief, just completely deranged." She told Telegraph in 2007. They ended up divorcing 3 months after.
Lots of drugs involved, I guess so.
We got married. And I thought that's what Robin would want. Somehow. And it just blew up in our faces because it was so the wrong thing to take Matthew and her husband was so beyond insane that
somehow.
You know, I mean, I can't even tell you.
And in 1982,
and they divorced 3 months after marrying? You're lying, bro. What is happening here? Hold on, this video is actually crazy. I cannot believe how insane this lore is. I can't even keep up. Like, usually some of these videos, I can't even lie. I'll watch some of them. I'll be like, okay, it was a little boring, but this shit right here, there's so much happening. I genuinely cannot even process all of it. Soap opera stuff, nah, real shit. I'm waiting for like a evil cousin or evil twin to pop out. Like, what the fuck?
You know, I mean, I can't even tell you.
And in 1982, we also got this performance of The Chain.
Ooh.
Which is basically like just a sneak peek into what 1997 Silver Springs performance was going to be. March 1984, great year for Prince, by the way. Mick Fleetwood files for bankruptcy. His financial advisors deny that this had anything to do with his drug use and spending on drugs. Stevie herself admits that her own personal drug use led to her spending at least millions on cocaine.
Millions? Hold on, is cocaine that expensive? Is it actually that expensive? They're spending millions of dollars on this shit? Oh my god, y'all, what the fuck?
Stevie Nicks actually checks herself into Betty Ford for her cocaine addiction. Years of heavy use actually burned a dime-sized hole in her nose and also reportedly caused blackouts during the Tango in the Night recording sessions for Fleetwood Mac. Doctors literally warned her that if she continued to use cocaine, that she was at risk of having a brain hemorrhage. But cocaine use in Fleetwood Mac was rampant. At one point, they even considered thanking their dealer in the credits of one of their Rumours liner notes. But
ain't no way they was about to give a shout out to their dealer on the album. Okay, so yeah, cocaine is crazy. That's some crazy shit. Thing is, this is another one. Listen, most drugs I will never do in my life. Thing is, like, the moment I learned that you can genuinely get a hole in your nose from doing that was an immediate turn off for me. Not that I ever would, but hearing that just made it even worse for me. Most drugs, man said. Guys, that shit is crazy. That and then a brain hemorrhage on top? How does that even work? I guess it's just like the powder like scraping your skin away over time. God damn, that shit is actually crazy.
Supposedly he was killed before the album's release. September 19th.
Wait, whoa, what? Who was killed?
Rampant. At one point, they even considered thanking their dealer in
their
the
dealer
credits
died.
of one of their Rumours liner notes. But supposedly he was killed before the album's release. September 1987, Lindsey Buckingham quits Fleetwood Mac. Just before Tango in the Night tour, they're at Christine McVie's house, and Buckingham refuses to join the tour, which then sparks a physical altercation between him and Stevie. He said that he planned to go back to his solo work after producing the album, which he delayed for 17 months to help the band. So Fleetwood Mac instead just replaced him with guitarist Billy Burnett and Rick Vito. This was the first time that one of the major players of Fleetwood Mac has now quit. However, shortly after September 1990, Stevie Nicks and Christine McVie call it quits as well. The announcement comes during the tail end of their tour. Christine McVie said that she would still record with the band. However, no more touring, and Stevie is just done altogether. And the big drama is all over the song Silver Springs.
Wow. Okay, so I'm assuming what she's saying right now is that Stevie at this time was, I guess, both working on her solo career, but then still coming and recording for the Fleetwood Mac albums at the same time. I'm assuming that's what she's saying. Damn, that's actually crazy. So now she's like fully separated herself from the band. I don't know if she's gonna go back, but wow. Sage cooking roaches and mold on a spoon. Okay, wow.
The song was actually supposed to be on the album Rumours. It was actually supposed to be on the album, but it got cut because there was a certain time allowance for songs on vinyl, and Stevie was pissed. She wanted to give the royalties of the song to her mother, actually, which didn't end up working out because the song was not put on Rumours. So then Stevie planned to put it on her 1991 greatest hits album Time Space, and Mick Fleetwood refused because instead he wanted it on the band's box set 25 Years of the Chain. And Stevie had an ultimatum that if she doesn't have the tapes by Monday, she's out of the band. And Mick Fleetwood did not budge, so Stevie was out of the band. The most random ass reuniting ever. Bill Clinton's inauguration in January 1993. The band gets back together, okay? They're like, okay, fuck yeah, Bill Clinton, okay, the band's getting back together. Buckingham, Fleetwood, Nicks, and McVie all came back together for one night only to play at the inaugural ball. But Stevie's personal life was going through some things at this time. She had just re-entered rehab, but for Klonopin this time around. She said that she's actually been prescribed Klonopin after her cocaine addiction to basically help with her nerves. But she says that it ended up taking 8 years of her life in her own.
8 years? Wait, actually, what the hell is Klonopin? How do you even spell that? Klonopin? How do you spell this shit? Oh, with a K. What is this prescription? Oh, this is a benzo. Oh, shit. Wait, that's actually wild. So they prescribe benzos to get you off of cocaine? Are benzos not more addictive than that shit? That's actually so weird how this shit works out, man. So now she's addicted to benzos, which I feel may be worse long term, but goddamn. Okay.
help with her nerves, but she says that it ended up taking 8 years of her life. In her own words, she said that Klonopin made her gain weight, lose her creativity, and sink into depression. She called it a horrible, dangerous drug and says she'll never forgive the psychiatrist who put her on it. At one point, she also said that writers should not be taking things like Klonopin or Prozac because it takes away all your creativity. I am on a hefty dose of Prozac, Stevie. Imagine
Prozac. Okay, so both of these are... I definitely heard of Prozac. I think Prozac is for like anxiety and depression, and Klonopin apparently is for anxiety too. Wasn't Kanye on one of these types of benzos? I don't know exactly how none of this shit works. Like, I'm not a drug expert by any means, but yeah, I know that those just as a whole super addictive. Like, what the fuck? I'm assuming this is before people knew how addictive this shit was. Prozac is an antidepressant. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. God damn.
Your creativity. I am on a hefty dose of Prozac, Stevie. Imagine I hit up my psychiatrist tomorrow. I'm like, I need to get off of Prozac. Cold turkey. Stevie Nicks told me to. At one point, she even said, if I saw him on the street and I was driving, it's a good thing I don't have a license because I'd run him down. Those
Damn, that's how
her
you feeling?
1994 album Street Angel, which Stevie described as sounding like she didn't care because at the time she really didn't. Stevie also openly talks about how she may have made a few more albums with Fleetwood Mac, maybe gotten married, maybe had a child if it were not for her Klonopin addiction. And that if there was one thing that she could take back, ever getting that prescribed to her. So May through August 1997.
Yeah, she regret the Klonopin more than anything else, it seems. She literally said, I would run that man down if I saw him on the street. And then put that shit out there on the record. Oh my God.
Ever getting that prescribed to her. So May through August 1997, Buckingham, Fleetwood, Nicks, the McVies reunited for a live album and tour. The Dance hit #1 the Billboard 200, got them a Grammy nod, and was filmed for a TV special. The real showstopper was Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks' performance of Silver Springs. You may have seen the videos of Stevie Nicks literally locking her eyes in on Lindsey, drilling into him. You'll never get away from the sound of The Woman That Loved You. She admitted that the moment was completely intentional for posterity. This is
oh shit. Yo, wait, we do need to watch that. That's crazy. Yo, she was staring that man all the way down. Oh my God.
Marked as one of the most iconic Fleetwood Mac performances or moments of all time.
Wow.
Because people are like, oh my God, how romantic. Like the whole star-crossed lovers can't be together. Will they, won't they? They fucking hate each other, but they still love each other. Oh my God. And fans still talk about it as one of the most electric performances of all time. This is similar to when I talked about their previous performance where Lindsey was very animated when singing to Stevie. But Stevie Nicks describes the song Silver Springs as like what could have been. Like Silver Springs in her head was beautiful place and this beautiful idea of a place. Beautiful blue-green colors flashing. Like this is what the relationship could have been and it didn't end up being. And the entire time, Lindsey just has to fucking take it because like that's his job. And good for him for standing there and like letting her rail into him. I don't know how else to say it, but people make memes about this all the time. If you mention Fleetwood Mac around someone, they're probably gonna be like, have you ever seen their 1997 performance of Silver Springs? Because it's extremely iconic. T-shirts made like, sorry, I can't talk. I'm thinking about the 1997 performance of Silver Springs where Stevie Nicks stares a hole through Lindsey Buckingham. Seeing this video a few years ago has definitely sat always in the back of my head and has inspired for this video to happen because it's just one of those iconic Fleetwood Mac moments. And I don't think that we've ever seen something like that in modern day pop culture, like current stars right now.
That's
First
fair.
of all, we don't have a band like this currently, and I don't know if we ever will again, to be honest. Well, like not only
That's fair. I'm really trying to think of anything like that. To be fair, I'm not like super locked in on the pop world right now. Maybe I don't know. I feel like the whole I don't know. I was gonna say the Justin Bieber, Selena Gomez shit. I know that there was a lot of drama back and forth with that. That's probably the only thing I could think of that may be anything somewhat like that. But even then, it didn't happen live. You know what I mean? I feel like what really hits about that moment is the fact that she did that shit live on stage. And it just adds so much more to it, especially since the song on top of it is about old boy. Cause like, I don't know, man. She's probably right. There's nothing else like that today.
a band like this currently, and I don't know if we ever will again, to be honest. Well, like, not only is it the most beautiful and perfect, like, they're amazing live performers, but the emotion
Tango in the Night, I think that's the one I actually put on the polls.
For reference, if you don't
We do
know
need
the
to
lyrics
listen to
to
that one
Silver
day.
Springs, so I'll begin not to love you, turn around, see me running, I'll say I loved you years ago, tell myself you never loved me, no. Don't say that she's pretty, and don't you say that she loved you. Baby, I don't want to know. Oh, can you tell me, was it worth it? Baby, I don't want to know. Time cast a spell on you, but you won't forget me. I know I could have loved you, but you would not let me.
Hold on,
Thank
that's
God
a
Stevie
bar.
Nicks for that performance. 1998, Christine McVie leaves Fleetwood Mac once again. She told People
Oh my
magazine, I
God.
think I was probably just burned out when I left and I was frightened to fly. She ended up moving back to England, released some solo music, and lived a quiet
Okay.
life until returning back to the band in 2014.
Little piano
The
album?
truth of the matter, the only people I wanted to play with were the people I had played with all my life. These guys, Fleetwood Mac. So 2014,
Damn.
Christine does return back to Fleetwood Mac for touring. January
Oh my
2018.
God, guys, she is in and out of this band like nonstop. Say You Will Too, Tango in the Night is actually really good. Yeah, we do need to check that one out. I think that's, yeah, I really do think that's the one that I had put out on the polls. But to be fair, I maybe only gave it like 1 or 2 chances to win before I was just like, all right, let me move on. Tango in the Night, maybe that's the next one we listen to then. I feel like that could be a good one. Okay. Holy shit, y'all. This is
During
crazy
the Music
stuff.
Hair's Person of the Year event, Buckingham reportedly complained about the choice of the entrance music, which was Rhiannon. Nicks was upset because she said that Lindsay was mocking her during her speech.
What?
So anyway, 46 minutes. So anyway, I do want you to understand one thing.
Which is then when in April 2018, Lindsay Buckingham is now fired from Fleetwood Mac. Because
What?
in Lindsay's eyes, Stevie gave an ultimatum in which she said it's either him or her. Meanwhile, Stevie Nicks says that she removed herself from a toxic situation and the band moved forward
Damn.
without her. And Mick Fleetwood says it just wasn't a happy situation any longer. Lindsay Buckingham later accuses Nicks of wanting to shape the band in her own image and compared the band dynamics to Trump and the Republicans.
What the
October
fuck?
2018, Lindsay then continues to sue Fleetwood Mac, breach of oral contract and interference with prospective economic advantage, with the lawsuit settled in December 2018, terms undisclosed. He claims that he lost a lot of money from not being able to tour with the band. That did not stop him though in March 2023 from posting a Throwback Thursday, where he posted a TikTok of the 1997 Silver Springs performance because there was now interest once again in it after Daisy Jones and the Six premiered in March 2023. And he's like, oh, heard that we're talking about Silver Springs again, which by the way, Lindsay Buckingham being on fucking TikTok is insane. Like seeing his name on TikTok should not be allowed. I know it's not him posting. Like I know it's like they're like, okay, Peepaw, time to post. Like it's maybe like one of his kids or someone
Oh, I
working
see
for
what
him.
she's saying.
Crazy. You know who has more followers than him though on TikTok? Not me. Almost. Well, not that much. Just Stevie Nicks. Stevie Nicks does have a lot more followers on TikTok. She can stay on TikTok.
Shout
That's
out
fine.
Stevie.
That's totally fine. So June 2022, Christine McVie says that Fleetwood Mac has kind of broken up and she hopes for Buckingham's return, but she admits that she's not physically ready for a farewell tour. Which then shortly a few months later, sadly November 30th, 2022, Christine McVie
Stevie has a
dies
cult?
at the age of 79 after a short illness. Fleetwood
What?
Mac calls her loss indescribable, and Stevie Nicks posts a handwritten tribute where she calls McVie her best friend in the whole world since 1975. And basically in 2023, that's when Stevie Nicks told Vulture that Fleetwood Mac is effectively finished without Christine. There's no point of going on without her. When
Damn.
Christine died, I felt like you can't replace her. Who am I going to look over
Damn,
to
y'all.
on the
Rest in
right and have
peace.
them not be there? When she died, I figured we really can't go further. Mick Fleetwood also says, I truly think that the line in the sand has been drawn with the loss of Chris. I'd say we're done, but we've all said that before. And that same night at the 2023 Grammys, he honors her with a tribute with Bonnie Raitt and Sheryl Crow.
Yo,
Once
it's
again,
like being in the band is damn near the drug itself. Like these people cannot stay away from it. Even in this sense, in this little quote right there where they're talking about this is probably the end, they can't even be like dead set on that shit. Like it's been decades since since this shit was probably like at the point where we gotta call it quits. But golly, bro, they cannot stay away.
the 2023 Grammys, he honors her with a tribute with Bonnie Raitt and Sheryl Crow. Once again, so heartbreaking. Some of my favorite songs are songs that Christine wrote or that she is the
Damn,
main
y'all.
vocalist
I did
on.
not know that she
What
died.
a talented artist. Oh my God. July 17, 2025. Okay, so what the fuck do Stevie Nicks and Lindsay Buckingham know about soft launching? Why are they edging us? Stevie Nicks, who is 77, posts a handwritten note on Instagram that
What?
says, and if you go forward, and then Lindsay Buckingham, fucking 75 years old on fucking Instagram.com, posts in handwritten letters, I'll meet you there. Fans immediately suspect a reunion and they're like, oh my God, Fleetwood Mac is getting back together. Oh my God, they're getting back together. Fleetwood Mac is not getting back together, at least not that we know of, because the quote is actually from their song Frozen Love, a deep cut from their only joint album, Buckingham and Nicks. June 24, 2025, they announced a long-awaited reissue of Buckingham and Nicks in a joint Instagram video. Because yeah, Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks are on Instagram, on the app Instagram, and can do joint Instagram posts. Sick and twisted. September 19th, the first time that the 1973 record will officially be available in CD and digital, because up until this point, it's only been available at like bootlegs and repressings. And they dropped the remastered single, Crying in the Night, and even promote the reissue with
Still have a lot of rumors to this day.
And the comments on Instagram are so funny. Like, I guess you really can't get away from the sound of the woman that loved you. Stevie, I love whatever's wrong with you. Get married for the love of God. This is like your divorced parents getting remarried. This is even better than the Parent Trap. Now, Stevie Nicks...
Wait. Are they actually like getting back together at this point? What year is this supposed to be? I think she's on like 2018 or something like that. What the hell, man? This is wild. How is it that they're still 2025? Oh my God, even worse. Bro, when did this band start? When did this band start? Hold on. At this point, just get back together. Because thing is like, if we went, how many decades is this? We actually got to do the math. Hold on. When did 50 years? Okay, after 5 decades of this on and off shit, bruh, just get married. You found your soulmate 50 years ago. Just get it over with. 50 years of bullshit. Literally just 50 years of bullshit. Oh my God. I cannot believe that this is still happening to this day. What the fuck?
Did do a biography recently, Gold Dust Woman, in which she did talk about her relationship with Lindsey Buckingham, the toxicity and the abuse within it. Although a lot of people online are like, Stevie Nicks never called it abuse. She talks about how Lindsey Buckingham was basically a bully towards her, forcing her to do things sometimes that she didn't want to do. Like, for example, a nude photo shoot for Buckingham Nicks, resenting her that her songs like Rhiannon and Landslide get more attention than his songs. During the recording of Rumours, their breakup turns bitter, and Buckingham reportedly tells Nicks that her songs only sound halfway decent because of him, while Nicks accuses him of hijacking her music. Nicks claims that Lindsey got physical during the argument. It is so
funny, the petty shit that happens in bands. Like, once they reach a certain level of fame, like, y'all really got like chart-topping singles, and you're over here calling that shit halfway decent. Like, just let it go, bruh. What are we even talking about? You guys are a literal super group, just being petty as hell. Y'all got hits on hits on hits, and you trying to downplay it just because you want to make somebody mad. Like, what are we even saying?
Once throwing her
this
to
shit
the
don't
floor.
make no
In
sense.
1980, we talked about on the Tusk tour in New Zealand, Buckingham allegedly tries to trip and kick her on stage, which then later Lindsey's like, I don't remember that happening. 1987, during a heated argument, Lindsey allegedly slaps Nicks, bends her backwards over a car hood, and starts choking her. Stevie says that she thought he would kill her. This time, the band intervenes and never lays a hand on her again. Stevie says that in 2013, they reconciled.
Oh shit, this is real abuse. I did not know that. Hold on. I heard them saying abuse, and I guess I obviously threw the guitar at her. Thing is, I'm getting hit with so much information, I can't even keep up. Like, real shit, bruh, my brain genuinely cooked. She didn't tell the full story. Oh, okay. Okay, so there's like real abuse going on. I didn't know that was the case for real. I thought it was just like, I mean, even if it was just a one incident, that's obviously still abuse, but this is like some real shit. God damn. So they are in like a never ending, extremely toxic back and forth, I guess like relationship. Holy fuck. So he was doing this in front of people too. Wow.
Bends her backwards over a car hood and starts choking her.
That's
Stevie
horrible.
says that she thought he would kill her. This time, the band intervenes and never lays a hand on her again. Stevie says that in 2013, they reconcile enough to work together
literally
again,
my
with
worst
Stevie
nightmare.
saying that he treated her with respect this time. Now, I don't want to sit here and speculate on a relationship that I don't know about, even though they're quite open talking about their complicated relationship that they have with one another. But I'm not surprised to see someone feel quite trauma bonded.
You said soulmate? Wait, I didn't. I didn't have all the information. My bad. They are not soulmates. They are in a trauma bond. Please end that shit now. Break up forever. Block him immediately.
exists for another person, or not directly calling their acts of abuse
Oh my
abusive.
God.
Now, the 1997 landslide performance sparks an idea for Taylor Jenkins
Y'all, I
Reid, which is that
didn't
she wanted to
know.
explore the blurred lines between real life emotion and performance and how old wounds can be kept alive through art, which is then when we get Daisy Jones and the Six. So we have Daisy Jones and Billy Dunn, who are fictional stand-ins for Nicks and Buckingham, although
okay.
Taylor Jenkins Reid does emphasize that this is a Fleetwood Mac vibe, not their story. And other band dynamics echo Fleetwood Mac's
Fleetwood
history,
Mac
like
5?
Graham and
Oh, like
Karen,
a
or
Jackson
fictional bass
5
and
type
keyboard
thing?
players mirroring John and Christine McVie's divorce. Despite literally decades passing, in 2015, Lindsay says, Stevie and my relationship is still a work in progress. The song Regret Me is based on
How?
Stevie Nicks' Silver Springs, reflecting a woman's right to be angry, inspired by the 1997 The Dance reunion performance. Despite just the show keeping Fleetwood Mac's legacy alive and well, Fleetwood Mac does it just fine themselves without the show. Literally, like Rumours, Tusk, and The Dance consistently climbing the charts. There's also many artists who still openly talk about how big of inspirations Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks are, such as Harry Styles, Haim, Lana Del Rey. Also, people are
Damn.
so inspired by Stevie Nicks whenever people talk about aesthetics and personal style, like whimsy goth. The first person that they think
Yo, I
about
take
is
all of that back.
Stevie Nicks. Videos like this about the band drama and the relationship feud between the two of them literally keeps their story alive. Like literally went of that video of that man skateboarding, drinking cranberry juice in 2020, listening to Dreams, made Dreams come right back onto the Billboard charts, literally beating out
is
tracks
so
by Miley
funny.
Cyrus and Lady Gaga.
It's so funny the type of shit that'll go viral because like bro is really just skateboarding and drinking cranberry juice. I really don't. I guess I just don't see the appeal of it. I don't think I see the appeal of it. But shout out to bro. Thing is, I do recognize his face. I may have seen him in like different videos or something like that, but I don't know. COVID internet. Oh, this was like COVID era. You right. To be fair, most random shit in the world would go viral back then. TikTok was a different place. I can't even lie. I kind of miss like the 2020, 2021 version of TikTok. Shit now. Ooh, shit is crazy on there now. Everyone is so angry.
Dreams come right back
People
onto
are
the
in for the
Billboard charts,
vibes,
literally beating out
exactly.
tracks by Miley Cyrus and Lady Gaga for the top 40 spot. Because new people, Gen Z, millennials, are listening and discovering Fleetwood Mac and being like, oh shit, this is really good music, and getting just as into them as people were when the albums were released. Lindsey Buckingham's daughter, Stella Buckingham, actually did the trend where you're like, I'm so hungry I could eat blank, where you mention someone's old distant friend or relative to try and like freak them out. Stella Buckingham said, I'm so hungry I could eat John Granger to her father on TikTok.
Man, I am so hungry. She loves mom. I'm so hungry. Me too.
You could eat a mullet.
I'm so hungry I could eat John Granger.
Who?
John Granger.
John Granger was one of my best friends all through grade school and high school.
With comments being like, you know damn well who you could have said instead.
Yo, what the fuck? That's such a weird trend.
It would be
Such a
fair if I
weird
didn't
trend.
mention The Summer I Turned Pretty using a Fleetwood Mac song in every single new episode. Literally hits Songbird, You Make Loving Fun, Silver Springs, causing a whole generation of really young people discovering Fleetwood Mac. Shit, I can't listen to Silver Springs without not only thinking about this fucking fight scene, thinking of Belly and Conrad fighting at a funeral.
Belly, wait.
Who the fuck are these people?
What do you want? Let go of me.
To this
Belly
day, though,
and
people are
Conrad?
still quite confused about Lindsay and Stevie's relationship. Like Lindsay Buckingham alluding to Stevie Nicks not being
I don't know
over
either.
him in
Okay.
recent interviews. There were a number of years where I wasn't over her. It's possible that she's never been completely over me either. I met the love of my life late, and that gave me a whole other take on the world. Stevie did not have children. She went down a different route and has placed more importance on her professional life. How that played out in the last 3, 4, 5 years, it's hard for me to know her mentality is towards me, but I know what mine is towards her because I've been married for 21 years and have children, and it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. With Stevie even saying that her and Lindsay can never really be best friends. We don't hang out, but they still get to have love affairs on stage, which a lot of people didn't love that she said that. With Lindsay at the time being married, current relationship status unknown, although divorce was filed for, with a lot of people
Damn.
being like, well, his wife looks exactly like Stevie Nicks. But Stevie Nicks has no problem saying that Mick Fleetwood
I
is
guess they
her
look
best
kinda
friend.
similar.
Mick Fleetwood even admits that this is something that Stevie and Lindsay will probably be going through until until their deathbeds. Navigating their friendship, relationship, even though their romantic relationship ended so many decades ago. Is it this romantic love story with people making like edits to videos of them on TikTok being like, wow, they were each other's one true love. Oh my God.
I think they
Wait, you know what's crazy? I can kind of see that, because like not only do they have like all their personal feelings involved, but they also got like the public opinion too. Because people, I'm sure, like anytime Stevie Nicks is at a show and she does a little meet and greet with the fans, they're gonna say some shit like, "Oh, are you and Lindsay gonna get back together? Is Fleetwood Mac gonna get back together?" Stuff like, you know what I mean? Just like hitting her with shit like that constantly. And also on top of that, seeing shit from people on the internet like wanting everything to go back to how it was at the same time. So I can get why there's so much back and forth for them. There's just so much pressure for it too. And then I'm sure for them, like it gets to the point where they like deep down are just like, okay, maybe we can make it work. But it's like, nah, y'all really just gotta let that shit go. I take back everything I said. Please let that go.
love there.
Oh my God, not the edits too.
Or is it like deeply toxic and surrounded with a lot of trauma and abuse with difficulties of letting go of one another? Is it toxic as fuck, but very heavily romanticized because of performances like Silver Springs, even though they openly talk about their issues with drug abuse, addiction, physical altercations with one another?
Damn.
I think it's more likely that it's a toxic cycle that they're stuck in. In my personal opinion, I don't know if we're ever going to really see a full-on reconciliation between Stevie and Lindsay. I do find it interesting about the re-release of Buckingham and Nicks. Is it a great money move though? For sure, 100%. Are we ever gonna see them in person though together? Who knows? That's Fleetwood Mac for you. Exclusively for this video, I got access to a very rare photo of Stevie Nicks when she was young in 1969. Yeah, no, that's her. That photo has never seen the light of day on the internet, and I was able to get access to that through an archive, and that is Trisha Paytas. That's Trisha Paytas with bangs at her tavern.
All right, get in. Shh.
What?
Wait, you've come to me tavern. That's right, it's me tavern. I'm a fish. I'm a fish tavern. I am not the fatty. I'm a fish.
I had to include her somehow. I couldn't leave her out of this one. I knew that she would want to be in here. This is probably one of my best walls. I'm gonna keep this up. I think I'm gonna leave this wall up for a while.
Shout out to
Maybe
Trisha,
in the middle
I
of the
guess.
night, I might like come over here and start playing Silver Springs and like screaming at Lindsay Buckingham's face on the wall. My relationship is happy and healthy and not toxic, but I do want to get some anger out in general, so I think I'm going to take it out on Lindsay Buckingham on the Chronically Online Girl wall. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please make sure that you leave a like.
Damn, yeah, this was
so
fire.
much. Also, leave a comment. What's
This
your
was
favorite Fleetwood Mac
fire.
song? Anything else we want to discuss? Anything that I missed? I'd love to talk about it down below. Make sure you subscribe if you want to be nasty. If not, you're disgusting. Also, make sure you have bell notifications.
you know what?
so
Fuck it. I'm a sub.
when I
I'm a
post,
sub.
or else you are gross. If you want to follow me on my other social media, Instagram, Twitter, Depot.
Okay, this was a fire video. Shout out to Nicole Raffi. Hold on, what else she got on here? She got a bunch of stuff. Session, Ellen DeGeneres. Okay, so she just talked about anything. Euphoria. That's actually so sick. That's so sick. All right, this was a fire ass video. I cannot believe that there is as much shit going on with with this band, but yeah, crazy W video for real.